What does it take to become a legend? Is it beauty, talent, or the courage to reinvent yourself when the world doubts you? In the world of fashion, very few names have left a mark as powerful as Linda Evangelista. She wasn't born into fame. She didn't come from a wealthy family. But through determination, resilience, and an extraordinary ability to transform herself, she became one of the most influential supermodels in history. This is the story of Linda Evangelista, a small-town girl with big dreams. Linda Evangelista was born on May 10, 1965, in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. She grew up in a hard-working Italian-Canadian family where success came through dedication and discipline. As a child, Linda was fascinated by fashion magazines. She admired the glamorous women she saw on their covers and dreamed of one day becoming one of them. While many children imagined ordinary careers, Linda envisioned herself on the world's biggest stages. At just 12 years old, she began attending modeling classes. It was a small step, but it marked the beginning of a journey that would eventually change the fashion industry forever. The first opportunity. At the age of 16, Linda entered a local beauty competition. She didn't win. For many people, that would have been the end of the dream. But sometimes, failure opens doors that success cannot. During the competition, a modeling scout noticed her unique features and natural presence. Soon after, she signed with a modeling agency. Determined to pursue her dream, Linda left her hometown behind and moved toward larger opportunities. New York and Paris became her new classrooms. The fashion world was waiting, but it wasn't going to be easy.
The fashion industry of the 1980s was brutally competitive. Every day, hundreds of aspiring models attended castings, hoping for a chance to be noticed. Linda faced rejection after rejection. Designers weren't always interested. Photographers often overlooked her, but she refused to give up. She continued working, learning, and improving. Then came a decision that would change her life forever. A decision that many believed would destroy her career. The haircut that changed everything. In the late 1980s, Linda made a bold move. She cut off her long hair and adopted a short pixie hairstyle. At the time, long hair was considered essential for successful models. Many people thought she had made a terrible mistake. Some clients even stopped hiring her. But something unexpected happened. Fashion photographers loved the new look. Designers became fascinated by her unique appearance. The haircut made her stand out from everyone else. Almost overnight, Linda transformed from another aspiring model into one of the most recognizable faces in fashion. Her career exploded, and the fashion world would never be the same again. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, Linda Evangelista had become a global superstar. She appeared on hundreds of magazine covers. She worked with the most famous photographers in the world. She walked for the biggest fashion houses and luxury brands. Alongside other legendary models, she helped create what many consider the golden age of supermodels. Fashion shows became international events. Models became celebrities, and Linda stood at the center of it all. She wasn't known for just one look. She constantly reinvented herself. Different hairstyles, different fashion styles, different personalities in front of the camera. Her ability to transform became her greatest strength.
As Linda's fame grew, so did her influence. She became one of the most sought-after models on the planet. Her image helped define an entire era of fashion. During this period, she became associated with one of the most famous statements in modeling history. The quote reflected the extraordinary power that top supermodels had achieved during the 1990s. For the first time, models weren't simply representing brands. They were becoming global icons themselves. Linda Evangelista had become much more than a model. She had become a symbol of fashion excellence. Chapter 7. Life after the spotlight. As the years passed, the fashion industry evolved. New generations of models emerged. Trends changed. Linda gradually stepped away from the spotlight.
However, her influence remained visible everywhere. Young models studied her photographs. Designers continued to admire her versatility. Fashion historians frequently described her as one of the greatest models of all time. Her legacy was secure. But another challenge was waiting, one that had nothing to do with fashion.
Years later, Linda experienced a deeply personal struggle. A cosmetic procedure reportedly resulted in unexpected complications that affected her appearance. The woman who had spent decades in front of cameras suddenly withdrew from public life. For years, she remained largely out of the spotlight. Many people wondered if they would ever see her again. It was one of the most difficult periods of her life. Yet even during those challenging years, Linda demonstrated remarkable strength. Chapter 9. A courageous comeback. Eventually, Linda decided to share her story publicly. Her honesty resonated with people around the world. Many admired her willingness to speak openly about her experiences. Her comeback wasn't simply about returning to fashion. It was about reclaiming her voice, her confidence, and her identity. In doing so, she inspired countless people facing their own personal struggles. She reminded the world that true strength isn't about perfection. It's about perseverance. Ending. From a small-town girl in Canada to one of the most famous faces in fashion history, Linda Evangelista's journey is a story of ambition, reinvention, resilience, and courage. She transformed the modeling industry. She inspired generations of models. And even in her most difficult moments, she showed the world what real strength looks like. Because legends aren't defined by their success alone. They are defined by how they rise after life's toughest challenges. And that is why Linda Evangelista remains a true icon.